everybody, it's John from Seattle Coffee Gear, and I'm here today doing a crew review of the Baby T from Ascaso. This is the Baby T Plus. There's also a Baby T Zero, but from what I understand, we're only getting the Plus in the US, but I might not be right about that, so don't quote me on that. This is a new high-end home unit or light commercial duty unit from Ascaso. It's a dual boiler or dual heating element unit, I guess would be a better way to put it, because the brew boiler is a thermoblock and then it has a standard boiler for your steam. So Ascaso is well known for their thermoblocks and they're big proponents of thermoblocks for espresso machines. Some of the benefits that Ascaso claims about thermoblocks is that they're a lot more efficient, so they use less energy. They also deliver fresh water for each time you brew. So as opposed to a boiler, that water is sitting in that boiler being reheated over time before it finally makes it to your coffee. But this is pulling fresh water from the tank every single time you go to brew. So that's a big reason that people talk about thermoblock machines and why they might have some advantages over regular boiler machines. That also means it can recover a lot faster and maintain temperature a little bit easier because it's heating less water, so it can do that faster, it can react faster and change temperatures faster. This does obviously have a steam wand, hot water, and a single group. You have your hot water button here. That is pulling straight from the coffee boiler, so it is very hot. And then, or not from the coffee boiler, from the steam boiler. And then you have three different buttons. You have a small, large, extra large, and the extra large is actually a continuous run. And then you have a small and large, which are basically your single and double shot buttons, but you can program those for whatever you want. So I usually program the single shot as like a purge, and then I program the double shot for what I use for my double shot, however I want to brew that. The steam wand is insulated, so you won't get burned on it. I believe it is a silicone. Yep, so it's a silicone internal tip, so it's not dual wall stainless or anything like that. And then the steam tip is a 4-hole, similar to the Rancilio or La Marzocco style, where they're kind of angled out, which is very similar to most commercial machines. I like that myself. And from what I know, there are no steam tip options for this machine, so keep that in mind. It does come in black, white, and stainless, and then you also get these nice wood accents for this. This is a darker wood, and I believe they have other wood accent options, but it looks pretty nice. One downside of this steam lever is it makes the machine really tall. I can't remember the exact spec, but my cabinets at home are around 16 to 17 inches. And I had to have this steam lever kind of sticking out from in front of my upper cabinets because this wouldn't fit. And if I brought it down, I didn't want to risk having the steam wand accidentally dripping out, causing the drip tray to overflow. So it is a big machine. It's definitely a heavy machine. I'd say it's up there with the Linea Mini or the R91 or the Prima in terms of weight. These are all very bulky, large machines. The drip tray is a pretty good design in my experience. You have to be careful because it does have the little drain nub on the bottom of it. So if you're not going to plumb in the drip tray, you want to be careful with that because I found that it would catch while I was pulling it out sometimes. So be careful, but it is a decent size. It doesn't look very deep, but that's honestly not an issue because it's so large. Most drip trays aren't quite as wide or as long as that. And I do like this grate. It adds a nice little touch, in my opinion. This is a rotary pump machine, so it can be plumbed in if you'd like. Or the water tank is a slide out over here on the side. And if you can see, my feed there is dropping right into the top, which I don't know how I feel about that. I like the convenience of just setting something in and it plugging right in, but I also like not having to worry about it leaking out of the water tank or anything like that. Just less points for potential failure. This machine does also have an app, and I'll pull up my phone in a second here and walk through some of that. It was recently updated, so it's now in English too. It used to only be in Spanish because Ascaso is a Spanish brand, but it is in English now as well. So you have a lot more features in there. I'll grab my phone and we'll walk through that. So I just opened up the app for the Baby T, and I'm gonna hit connect, and I see all the different options I have. So it looks like there's an Akaya in there. There's a fellow kettle somewhere, but I just want my Ascaso. So now I am connected and I have all these different options. So I have my regular settings here. I don't know why it's saying that. Let's change it to a 120 because this is a 120, not a 230. You can change your settings from Celsius or Fahrenheit. I'm American and I'm not good enough at converting Celsius, so I just do it with Fahrenheit. You can change direct connection or tank. Because it's rotary, you can plumb it in. And then you also have the option to enable or disable your coffee or steam. So something that I get questions about when people get a machine like this, sometimes they'll want to just leave it on throughout the day, but either not have the coffee portion on or not have the steam portion on to conserve power. And a lot of machines will allow you to turn off the steam boiler, but not a lot of machines will allow you to turn off the coffee boiler. So it is nice that you can turn off the coffee boiler or the steam boiler, however you'd like there. You can also shut off the machine. I'll go back and then go to temperature. So if you click on the coffee temperature, you can come in here and change it. This is a lighter roast that I'm gonna be drinking today, so I'm gonna turn that up. It does take a tiny second to adjust. And then the offset, that's been programmed from the factory, so I wouldn't change that. You can change your steam temperature, your standby temperature, your standby time for that boiler. So that'd be that the machine doesn't get used for a while, it'll go into standby. You can see all the different doses that you can do. And then it does have some pre-brewing functions as well. So I'm gonna turn that on for 2.0 seconds. And you'll see pre-brewing L1, 2.0 seconds. So now if I hit this, it's gonna pause and then kick back on after 2 seconds there. So similar to the Linea Mini or other machines with pre-brew. And then one thing I do want to mention while I'm seeing it here, I was messing around with this while I had it at home, but if you press the button twice, it will allow you to have a second setting for your volumetrics. So you do have 2 settings per button. It's a little bit clunky because you have to press that pretty fast. You have to kind of learn the timing of when to press it to engage that second setting. And then you can also make your XL button here a flush. And it'll just run and then, oh, I must have stopped it right as it was stopping. Go back. And then going through here, you also have an auto on timer. So let's make sure my clock is set right. It's not going to give me the option to. Well, we'll leave that for now. You do have the option to do auto on. And so I'm going to change this to come on, say at, let's say 5:45 a.m. Accept that. And now it'll change. So it will auto start. Come on, work with me here. There we go. So now it's adjusted to come on at 5:45, except I click that again, AM. There we go. So now it should update. This only recently started working in English, so I didn't get much time with this before today. So apologies if I'm a little rusty here. But that goes through all of the main things. You can also see a counter and see how many different coffees have been made on each button, which is kind of cool. Just nice to have. That's pretty standard on apps for machines, but that covers all of the app functionality. Let's talk about the accessories. So it comes with a good number of options. You have your braided hose to be able to plumb in the machine. And then you also get a double and a single portafilter. It does not come with a bottomless, but these are very high quality portafilters. Ascaso makes a lot of parts for other manufacturers, but the casting on the portafilter is really well done. And these are, I believe, going to be plated brass, so not stainless. That's all right. You also have a bunch of basket options, which is pretty cool. This one's a little dirty, so I apologize there. But you get a single, and then you also get a double. And these are labeled as precision competition baskets. This one's a little shallow for my taste, so I did not use that. And then you also have a backflush basket that's in there. And then this is really funny. This is a pressurized basket in a 58 millimeter size, and it says it is a precision filter. So it's a precision pressurized basket. I don't know why I would use that, but that is a unique feature for sure. You also get some cleaning supplies, and this is the Ascaso tamper. I'm not a huge fan of the Ascaso tamper, so I'm going to be using a different one in this video. I'm also using a straight edge precision basket. It holds about, it's like a triple basket, I'd say, and this can fit a triple basket in it in the spouted portafilter, so that is definitely handy. I used the Strata triple basket in this at home, which is a 21 gram basket, and it fit just fine. So you can fit a triple in the spouted portafilter, which is pretty sweet. And then it has this little inline particulate filter to go on if you're going to be plumbing the machine, but you're probably going to be putting a filter on the machine anyways, so you may not need that, but just follow the guide, the instructions if you're going to be plumbing this in. That covers all the features of this machine, so let's get to my favorite part, and that's actually making some coffee on it. Let's go ahead and make a drink. I'm gonna grab some milk, and we're gonna split a shot and do kind of a one-in-one little cortado and espresso setup here. So I'll grab some milk. And then today we're serving some coffee from Black and White Coffee Roasters. It's their original blend, as they call it, which is from Ethiopia, and it is probably like a medium light roast in my experience. Great on its own, but also great with milk. About 20 grams there. And let's tamp. And I programmed this large button to be about a 50 gram shot. I was pulling this kind of longer. I'm gonna split this, but we'll see how close we are once I actually pull the shot here. Alrighty, let's go. One thing I have noticed when I'm steaming with this machine, especially when I first started using it, is when I was pulling down the lever, you have to make sure you go all the way down, otherwise it's gonna seem like you don't have much steam pressure. So keep that in mind, a little tip there. And I'm close. I'm closer to 60 than I am to 50, but that's all right. I'm gonna dump some of my milk out here. And let's pour. right, it is a Tuesday when we're filming, so it is a Tulip Tuesday. I'd say the milk quality from this machine is pretty solid. I haven't had a ton of time to practice with it, but it's got good microfoam and it comes out pretty shiny. You can definitely tell that under the lights here. But with a little bit more practice, I could be getting super solid milk out of this, even better than that. So let's go ahead and taste. Yeah, that is right where I want it. The milk really complements the chocolatey notes of the coffee. I get kind of a graham cracker flavor in there as well. And, uh-oh, I don't have a spoon for my espresso. So let me grab a spoon. Okay, I got my fancy espresso stirring spoon. Give it a quick rinse and several stirs. Oh man, that is so fragrant. It smells like I just sliced into an orange. And it tastes really good. I went for a little bit longer probably than I would have liked. So it's leaning a little bit more tea-like. So it kind of reminds me of like a orange flavored black tea a little bit, but then has some of those nice chocolate notes rounding out the end. But that could be impacted by the fact that I just had some milk right beforehand. But overall, I've been impressed with this machine. It's definitely a unique machine in this space. Maybe if you're looking for something for your home that isn't a La Marzocco or the new Prima, or maybe you don't want something that has all the crazy features of the R91 or something like this, something like that, this might be a good fit for you. Or if you are looking for a small machine for a restaurant, a bar, maybe a pop-up, something like that, this could be a good fit for you there as well. I have noticed that the recovery from the steam can be a little bit slow sometimes. So if you're going to use this for a mobile setup or light commercial use, I would suggest limiting your drink sizes to maybe 12 ounce as your max size. That'll help you be able to keep up with the rush a little bit more. But that's pretty standard advice I give if you're doing mobile catering. So not just limited to this machine, but I always mention it there. I do like the fact that it has those 2 volumetric programming buttons or options per button, which is nice. You get a shot counter right up here and then your temperature. This is not a live readout. This just tells you what your temperature is set at. So similar to some of the rocket machines where it's not a live readout of what the temperature is actually at, but more of telling you what you've set your temperature for. It is a very good looking machine. I think that's where this scores the most points, is in how it looks, just because it's a well-built, well-proportioned machine. And it doesn't look too menacing on your counter or anything like that. And the wood accents are a really nice touch. Make sure to check this out on our webpage. We'll have some links below, and keep an eye out for more videos with this machine, comparing it to some of the competitors that I mentioned. If you have any questions about it, leave us a comment down below and I'll try to jump down there when the video goes live to answer some of those for you. And if you want to see more of our content, we appreciate you subscribing to our channel. Helps us grow, know that we're doing something that you like. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy a great rest of your day.